Hey everybody. In today's video, I wanted to take a look down the dark road that is Sargon of Akkad. And I'm not talking about the Sumerian king from the Bronze Age. I'm talking about the alt-right British YouTuber who is running for the UK Independence Party and failing miserably in that endeavor. So let's get started. Here's a little introductory video.
The new face of UKIP, the party partly responsible for Brexit, now resorting to online extremists to get attention.
And I'm not going to be apologising for my crimes against political correctness. I hate political correctness.
I'm not going to apologize for my crimes against political correctness. I hate political correctness. I mean, that's what kind of a weird asshole says I hate political correctness? Like, what, you hate being nice to people? You hate treating people with decency? You hate not being a jerk?
In footage obtained by Sky News, Carl Benjamin, the party's candidate for the South West, provides his own commentary over an anti-discrimination video. In it, he calls a disabled person a retard and uses a number of racist slurs. He claims the remarks are jokes, but should freedom of speech excuse political candidates using language like this?
It is not acceptable to call me a retard.
He called that little girl a retard? What a fucking asshole. This guy deserves to get milkshaked every single fucking day. Every time he pokes his head out of his little fucking basement house, somebody should just have a milkshake right there to throw right in his fucking face.
Fair enough. You can't change that you're
making
a retard,
fun of a
it's not very
mentally
nice to
disabled
call you a
girl.
retard. I won't do it.
Or call yourself or your friends retarded.
Whoa. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, retard?
Let's discuss some
God,
of
what
those
a
comments
douche.
that you've made in the...
Look at his fucking face. That is the face of a high school bully. You know, that bully that you knew in high school that picked on all of the special needs kids and made their lives hell. That's who Carl Benjamin is. That's what Sargon of Akkad is. He's a fucking bully.
in the past, and
I'm not really interested in discussing any of these comments because you see, I've had something like 400 million views on my YouTube channels in total. I've got a huge audience that if people want to go see them, they can go watch them on my channel. And
wow, what kind of person running for elected office, when confronted with comments they post on social media, has the balls to say, "Well, I have a huge audience. You can go watch it yourself," and they make up their own minds. It's you know, in the words of Willy Wonka, it's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You know, this guy is just a fucking hate-filled racist shitbag, and um for the media to want him to remark on these comments, they're doing their due diligence, and he is basically just being a giant asshat saying, "Well, I have a huge audience, so you know, I don't have to fucking take any guff from you."
see the context for themselves.
In another section of the video, Mr. Benjamin uses racial slurs.
So, off chink. It's okay for me to call
Oh my
you this
God.
because racism is power plus prejudice.
Oh my God.
There are other sections of this video which we can't show you because they are too offensive.
So he called an Asian lady a chink. That's pretty fucked up, Sargon. You know, that's pretty fucked up.
Personally, I find racist jokes funny.
Yeah, I bet he fucking does. Probably because he's a racist. I mean, you know, if it looks like a racist, talks like a racist, says racist things, chances are that person's a racist.
This isn't the first time Mr. Benjamin has faced questions about his choice of words. I previously challenged him over comments he made about rape. There are people who are deeply offended by some of the things that you've said.
Well, I tell you what, they can go and have a cry, and when they've collected themselves and they're ready to talk like an adult about the issues,
God, what a douchebag. Like, okay, look at this from the position of like somebody who has been sexually assaulted, and to have this privileged fucking asshole come out and say, "Oh, I can make rape jokes. Rape jokes, they're hilarious. And you shouldn't laugh at me. You should go have yourself a cry, and when you're ready to sit down and talk like a big boy, put on your big boy pants, then we can talk about the issues." What a douchebag. Once again, Sargon's like that bully that like picks on a child, drives them to the point of like crying, where they're all snotty and upset, and then they say, "Dude, why are you so crazy? Why are you acting so crazy? What's the big deal, dude? I was just joking around. Come on." So that's kind of what Sargon's doing. He's gaslighting rape victims uh, for the sake of making rape jokes. I never understood why these people feel the incessant, like it's their right to be able to make rape jokes. Like, rape jokes aren't fucking funny. Like, God, and racist jokes aren't funny. I've never heard a racist joke where I was like, haha, that's a zinger, bro. No, I've never heard one.
And not bring up things that they think might be offensive and spread them around the country to people who might be offended by them. Then we can have a sensible conversation about the issues.
You have a video where you call Chinese people chinks, and by all accounts, that is racist.
Because words have meaning, and you don't know what the meaning of that word was. You don't know what the context was, what the narrative of it is. That's the point.
It's broadly...
Well, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to piece together the context of the word chink when you refer to an Asian lady by that word. I mean, it's pretty easy to infer the context and the intent of calling her a chink. Carl, words have meaning, and it all depends on the context of the situation. All right, Carl, well, tell me what fucking context it's acceptable to call an Asian woman a chink, and somehow that's not racist.
accepted as a racist term.
Yeah, I know. That's why I used it.
After challenging
He's
Mr.
such a
Benjamin on
shitbird.
his comments, I asked him about the substance of his campaign. Okay, so give me your top 5 policy offers. What's your top 5?
Here we go. Here's what I'm really interested in. What is this guy's like political agenda? What does he want to see done? What's his big grievance with society?
On the doorstep.
Well, actual policies. I mean, what can an MEP even propose?
What? Did he seriously just fucking say that?
On the doorstep.
Well, actual policies. I mean, what can an MEP even propose?
What can an MEP even propose? Well then, why are you even running? Do you think you're just going to sit in the office that you're elected to and just sit there in a chair and stare at the wall all day? You're not gonna like sign documents, try to pass bills and legislation. You're not gonna like meet with other people and go to meetings and negotiate. This guy is just a child. He's a child who has been given just a massive audience, and he has been placated and rewarded with media attention, even negative media attention. I mean, this guy just does not deserve this fame. He doesn't deserve the attention. He doesn't deserve a second of anybody's time. But unfortunately for the world, unfortunately for the state of YouTube in 2019, this guy is relevant. He's a big dog, and it's hilarious to see him completely failing in Britain with his UKIP endeavors. He has pretty much single-handedly sunk the party. That might actually have to be a video I talk about in the future, because it's worth its own separate sort of analysis.
So why has UKIP, the party which won the Brexit referendum, turned to social media agitators like Mr. Benjamin, who caught the far right?
They don't care about being called far right. They don't care about engaging with far right activists and approaching and trying to get far right voters. Any normal party that was mainstream and acceptable would have got rid of Carl Benjamin already and would after this. But this UKIP will not.
Well, I mean, you're always gonna have like desperate fringe parties trying to um, adopt a candidate that can maybe push their brand, and I think their big hope was that Sargon of Akkad would push the brand of UKIP and lead some kind of like UKIP revolution, but I mean, talk about putting your bets on a lame horse. I mean, Sargon of Akkad is he's a man whose ideology and philosophy is like as deep as like a single drop of water. He has he has the mentality and the understanding of a child, and his entire political philosophy is built solely on triggering the libs. I just want to trigger the libs. And congratulations, he has triggered libs. He's triggered plenty of leftists as well. So, I guess mission accomplished for him with that, but mission absolute complete fucking failure when it comes to winning the UKIP elections and taking any kind of real political power.
So what does the party's choice of candidate mean for Brexit, UKIP's main cause and the pledge it's been making to voters on the doorstep?
The rhetoric that they've used and the characters that they employ to send that message are actually themselves undermining the Brexit, the Leave cause, because they are giving the Remain side, if you like, all the ammunition they need to say, well, hang on, all the Leave camp are hardline right-wingers, bigots, aren't prepared to engage in proper political debate.
Politics in Britain is splintering. New parties have formed along new fault lines, but old tactics have returned too. Will the decision to embrace them make or break the new UKIP? Kate McCann.
I don't know, but one thing's clear. Sargon of Akkad won't be part of that breaking process. This is the guy's channel here. I just kind of wanted to show you just what some of his video titles are. This is the kind of stuff that he puts out. The knives come out. Hashtag Avad Adpocalypse. Vox Adpocalypse. This is probably a reference to the Carlos Meza incident that happened just yesterday, where YouTube during Gay Pride Month refused to respond appropriately to the harassment that Carlos Meza, who's a gay journalist from Vox, was facing on behalf of Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder and his little cult of cronies were creepily stalking this guy, giving him death threats, and then Steven Crowder himself made a shirt that said Carlos Meza is a fag, and selling it. He had insulted him, used homophobic slurs, called him I think a lispy queer. So yeah, a real great guy. So Sargon's obviously defending Steven Crowder. You have, let's see. You have a video. I think this might be featuring Milo Yiannopoulos.
How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you. Nice for you to invite.
Yeah, that's Milo Yiannopoulos. For those of you who are sort of out of the loop with him, he was a gay man who said, "I'm conservative and I'm gay, so that makes me entitled to talk about gays in the most deplorable, hateful way possible." He was accurately described by Joe Rogan at one point as being a self-loathing gay man, a label with which he took offense, but it's pretty much an aptly described label. He's a self-loathing gay man. He's essentially a token gay that he can say whatever the far right would like to say to the gay community, but may come across as too hateful. And he's also extremely critical of like feminists, Anita Sarkeesian, and all of that crap, just like the rest of these Gamergate Kekistan cronies are. But perhaps most controversially, Milo Yiannopoulos came out essentially endorsing pedophilia, that minors can consent to sex with adults. And I guess Carl Benjamin is following in the footsteps of his mentor of Milo Yiannopoulos, because he too has been, of course, caught coming out and saying that I think that 11-year-olds can consent to sex in certain circumstances. So you have two grown men hanging out together who both believe that children can consent to sex, running, and one of them is running for elected office in in Britain, failing miserably. And the other, Milo Yiannopoulos, has become pretty much like blacklisted by every social media site. He's been banned from multiple university campuses. He is a pariah. Ever since his pedophilia comments came out, like, he has pretty much been like a pariah. He's been a nobody, and he's really been struggling. The guy is like spiraling into some kind of mental, I don't know if it's like a depression or but something's definitely up with Milo. It might be worth its own video in the future, but yeah, it's great to see that these two scumbags hanging out together. Let's see. Where are some more good ones here? I'm just gonna go to his top of all time and see that kind of gives you a better sense of what he's all about. So, oh well, he has a video, who I am and what I do. So I think in part 2 we're going to look at this video. We're going to see from the horse's mouth what he is and what he has to say. So stay tuned for that.